For 20 years, you've trusted us to reinvent the standard in sports nutrition products. We don't plan on stopping, just like you.
What's up, everyone? It's Xavisus Gayden, IFBB Men's Physique Pro, U.S. Marine, performance-driven, dark sport, and body bio, and athlete here at Gold's Fitness, checking in. I'm starting off with this because I haven't done it in a while, and I just want my upper chest to stay full, but also I'm touching on my delts because I'm not going to actually train shoulders today. I like doing it for shoulders, but also working to tie in from your shoulders to your chest, upper chest, to keep it level. It helps a lot, especially if you control your breathing. So when I came in the Marine Corps, I actually came in from right after high school, a few months after. I actually signed up for the Army National Guard, and that didn't turn out so well because they never picked me up for boot camp. So I was sitting by the door waiting, and it never happened. So I saw the Marine Corps commercial in their dress blues and the uniform and the swords, and then I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I went back to school, signed up, went to boot camp, went to school. I was a motor T driver, a truck driver, and then I became a career planner later. Now what I'm gonna do now is a dumbbell incline press or incline dumbbell press. Like I said, I'm just doing a chest workout, especially since I had a cheat meal last night. I want to utilize those carbs, try to get my body to burn through them, but also I try to work on the areas that I think need improving. So going into this show, I want to keep my chest full, so I want to focus on my chest today by any other thing. So the other thing is tomorrow I'll do back. Coming off the cheat meal and coming off the, post-show, I always try to hit those weaker areas first so that they get the most out of basically the cheat meal. When it comes to chest, actually when it comes to any workout, I'm real big on positions, angles, the way you turn your wrists, the way you turn your elbows, every little bit counts. We're gonna do a isolateral bench press, seated. So focus more on isolating chest, squeeze. One of the things that I try to focus on is extending fully through with my elbows so that I'm able to contract my pecs more. Helps in building density. You can also do these in variation as well. Your typical basic form is just straight out, but you really want to get in there deep, turn sideways and do the exercise from your right and left side. When it comes to muscle growth and when it comes to working to improve your physiques, every little thing matters and it counts. So any little tweaks that you can work on to focus more on growth, muscle growth, or again, improvements with your physique, then you should try it. And this was one of the things that I felt like worked. Going in from the side, you can actually focus and squeeze more on your pecs to get those feathers that in between the pecs that everybody has been looking for. I started bodybuilding in 2007 when I deployed to Iraq. Bit of a rough time for me in my life. So a friend of mine, he was like, hey, you should work out with me. And I started training with him in Iraq. And a lot of the areas didn't really have like a whole gym set up. Some of the areas we had like buckets with sand or with mud, actually packed with mud and bars in them to lift with, or cement. And then other places we have Marine Corps welders. So they welded pipes together to make pull-up bars and benches and stuff. So we pretty much work from that. So when it comes to conditioning, Cable fly is always a good ending chest exercise. You know, it's also good for, you say, like a burnout, using it as like a burnout. You know, when your muscles are fatigued and you're trying to get the most out of the workout, you want to feel the burn, this is the exercise to do. I always think of any cable exercises as more for conditioning. So doing it at the end of your hard workout is always a plus. One of the questions that I'm always asked is, how do I do it? How am I a Marine, you know, top pro, competing in the bodybuilding world, also, you know, living my life and take care of my family. Having my son has been a driving force for me because I love him and I would do anything for him. Same thing with my daughters. And I'm always going back and forth with both of them, talking to my daughters in Japan and then spending as much time as I can with my son. But I know that it's important to be in his life. When I was a child, my father, I saw my father like 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times, and then he passed away. And my mother wasn't there, so I didn't want my kids to grow up that way. So I'm gonna always put my best foot forward to do whatever it is that I can do for them so that they don't have to go through what I went through as a child. Say hi. Say hi.
What's his name?
Xander.
And how old?
10 months old.
10 months
2
old.
weeks.
He's big. How much does he weigh?
He weighs around like
25.
23, yeah, 25 pounds. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Big.
I always tell this to people that when you try to focus on trying to manipulate things in your life to make them work out the way you want them to work out, you want them to play out the way you want them to play out, you want to win so bad that you're trying to force a win because you think that it's going to happen and you think you know you're going to win, or whatever the case is. When you do the right things for the right reasons, everything plays out the way it's supposed to play out. God has a plan, and no matter how hard you work to manipulate those plans, whatever he has set in front of you is gonna play out the way he has it set. So that's why it's always good to just do the right things for the right reasons. You know, everything will work out.